I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. $55,000 of that debt is towards my car loan. So this is the car in all of its glory. It's a 2022 Ford Bronco. Love this car. The top comes off. Don't you just love capitalism so much? The interest rate on my loan is about 10%. I have no idea what that means, nor do I care, honestly. I'm already in this hole. Might as well sit in it, you know? I was making a lot of money off the internet. I had a good credit score. I had a lot of monthly income, so I got approved for a large car loan, and I decided to buy this car. Do I look absolutely good driving this car? Yes, I do. But that is not the reason why I bought this car. I bought this car to look cool, to impress people, and that's simply not true. I bought this car because it's been my dream car forever, and I finally had the means to buy it. Was it my best financial decision? No. Obviously not, but I'm definitely going to be driving this car forever. I can see my kids learning how to drive in this car. The downside to this car though, I spend a lot of money on gas. Probably spend like $120, $130 every single week. I'm not getting rid of it. I already put so much money into the car that it does not make sense for me to sell it. If I did sell it, I would only sell it for less than what's remaining on my car loan. I know you guys hate to see a young girl drive a nice car, but at the end of the day, I bought this car all by myself with no co-signers, no help from my parents. You live and you learn, okay?
Wow, there's a lot to unpack on this one. It's obvious that the biggest problem with this situation is that she simply doesn't care. She knows she has a 10% interest rate, doesn't understand what it means, probably has an ungodly payment on this vehicle. I'd be surprised if it wasn't approaching $1,000. I didn't hear her mention. She's spending $120, $130 per week on gasoline, which is roughly $600 every single month, given that there's 4.3 weeks per month on average. She's got insurance costs, and because she's so young, I wouldn't expect those to be all too cheap. It's unlikely that she is spending a whole lot less than a couple $1,000s every single month. And she said, I had the means, I could buy it. Well, you didn't have the means. You couldn't buy it because you ended up financing it. You said you were making a lot of money, but you still borrowed the $55,000. So it means you were not in a financial position to afford this vehicle. My advice, do not do what she did, and definitely avoid the attitude of blaming everyone else around her for the mistakes that she's making. Accusing capitalism of being the reason that she's gotten into this situation is outrageous. This is almost too dumb for words. Let's look at some of the comments on this. Don't blame capitalism on this. This is just poor decision making. Basically echoing my sentiment. Another comment. What do you mean you had the means to buy the car? If you're $100,000 in debt, I simply don't understand. Again, a lot of people feel the exact same way I do. Another comment here. You didn't have the means to buy it if you took out a $55,000 loan at a 10% rate. And finally, nor do I care. That explains it all. That's going to be a really tough future for her. Folks, auto loans are simply one of the worst things you can do to yourselves. It will hinder your future. It will cripple your ability to create wealth. It will make it almost impossible for you to go out and actually utilize what tools the banks are actually offering you in a way where you can leverage them to build wealth. For instance, if you did want to perhaps say go in and buy a property later and leverage a mortgage to do that, it can be one of the greatest techniques for building wealth over time, especially if you're doing it in an investment sense. And car loans can make qualifying for a mortgage very difficult. So this is going to be a very complicated future for this young woman. I hope she figures it out soon and really starts to take some personal accountability. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second video my team drummed up for me here today.
Y'all, the finance people done got me, y'all. Tell me why. I just realized my first car that I ever financed, because you know I done bought used cars. I done had used cars. The first car that I financed, you know, I think I'm doing my big one, you know, my little loan, but I'm doing my big one. I'm making my payments on time. I'm even making extra payments. Why the hell I just realized all I'm doing is paying interest because my APR is 29.99%. Y'all, I swear to God, I'm not even playing with y'all. Shut up. Why didn't they teach us this in school? I can't even tell you what the hell we used the Pythagorean theorem for, but I could damn sure tell you my APR is 30%. Nobody told me what that meant.
Okay. Another young woman here. This is posted by Nita Beta. Folks, oh my goodness. She didn't understand the 29.9% interest rate and what that meant to her. And she's absolutely right. The school system has failed us, right? We go into public schools, we learn a lot of stuff that really never used again. And yet we're not taught about the day-to-day personal fiscal responsibility and financial education. It's almost absent from schools entirely, and perhaps that's strategic to keep us all dumb, keep us those dumb consumers that are out spending our money, keeps the economy going around, I suppose. But she's right. At a 30% interest rate, she is primarily spending her monthly payment on interest costs. And there's a couple comments on this one, right? A 29% car note, you might as well have put it on a credit card. True. Credit card interest rates right now are about the same. Another comment, I had financed a car with a 23% APR, checked after a year inside, only paid off $500 after paying $389 per month. Guys, that's well over $4,000. And yet this individual only paid off $500, meaning $3,500 to $4,000 of it was all interest. They go on to say, bought a new car with a 7% APR, gave the car back, jokes on them, credit score now 750. So that's somebody that obviously learned their lesson along the way, did something about it, made the change. It seems based on the reaction of this video that this young lady is realizing the errors of her ways and will probably do something much, much different in the future. Hopefully she can get out from underneath this vehicle without too much financial damage or impact to her credit. Another comment, go to your local credit union, tell them you'd like to look into refinancing your car. Credit unions give the best rates. And that's a great piece of advice. If you are stuck in an auto loan that has a high interest rate, potentially refinancing that into something much lower could be very beneficial to you, especially if you can reduce it by at least a couple percentage points or more. I certainly would recommend that exact same approach. Go to your local banks, go to the bank that you've been working with for the longest time, go to your credit union. Sometimes those pre-existing relationships can serve you. As long as you've been making your payments on time, you've been managing your credit well, and you can show that you're a responsible borrower, so often you can get out from underneath some of these predatory car dealership loans that they provide in-house. So I most certainly would recommend attempting a refinance on this. Continue to pay as much as possible to make sure that you're always keeping that loan under what the value of the vehicle is. And as soon as you're in that position, because she's probably underwater on this at the moment, meaning she owes more than what the car is worth, it's going to make it a lot more difficult to sell the vehicle. At times, you may be able to go to your credit union or your bank and request a personal line of credit, which could make up the difference on that personal loan. And you can go out and purchase a much less expensive vehicle with, if necessary, a much better set of terms if you're forced to finance it. So you've got to maintain your credit on this kind of stuff, folks. This is a perfect example of why credit scores are so important. There's a lot of videos on our channel on how you can maximize your credit and credit scores and just your overall borrowing strength. Make sure you check those out as well. Let's go into the next video.
I bought my dream car and now I'm getting rid of it. Here she is. It's a Mercedes-AMG GT53. Why are you getting rid of it, Nick? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, reason number one, it's not as exciting as it once was or as I thought it was going to be. When I first got it, very exciting. Loved driving it. People would tell me how nice it was. That was cool. Never had a car that anyone ever said, that's a nice car. That felt nice. But then it faded away. That feeling of excitement faded away. And it's a good thing. I realized that no thing outside of me will ever make me happy, ever. Now, it makes you wonder, if I am not excited about the car anymore, it's been less than a year, keep in mind, why did I really buy it? Was it because I wanted it so bad and I love the car so much? Or did I just want other people to know that I can buy it? Now, if you ask me when I bought it, am I buying it for other people? I would have said, no, absolutely not. I love the car. I feel like you can't really tell until you have the car. Reason number two, I can't afford it. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. It's a $1,200 payment plus another $400 for insurance. I don't even really notice it, to be honest, coming out of my account. Not saying that to sound like a whatever, but I do okay, make a few $100,000 a year, don't really notice the payment. However, I have no property. My plan is to get a bunch of rental property and have that pay for things like this that have a monthly payment on it. Reason number 3, it's a little embarrassing. Recently, I was out with a client of mine, and he does very well, a lot better than me. And we kind of both know each other's numbers, and we got in my car, and I could tell like we were both feeling, you shouldn't be driving this car. He knows I have a business to invest in, I should be buying property. We both know I shouldn't be driving this car. The only people that are impressed with the car that you drive are people that can't buy that car.
Okay. Well, that was a ride. I actually love this video. It's one of my favorites since starting these reaction videos. It shows this kid's going in the right direction, despite needing to live through, obviously, the bad decision that he made by purchasing it in the first place. I think he brings up some great points. Most of the time, I think people are acquiring things that are a little fancier in order to gain approval from other people that probably really don't care, might even be judging you negatively for it. I actually happen to drive my dream car now. I didn't know it was my dream car when I first spotted it, but then I kind of fell in love with it immediately and chose to acquire it. I've always been a Jeep guy. I'm on my 6th Jeep. Generally Wranglers. I love the off-roading capabilities and the recreational aspect of it, but they're just really awesome. And I ended up acquiring this really great 2021 Jeep Gladiator 4 years ago, coming up on 4 years ago. And it's sick, right? I bought it brand new. It was expensive, almost $75,000. I did pay cash, so I don't have a car note on it. And there are days where I kind of look out at that thing and I some of that initial excitement and enthusiasm about it has certainly worn off. Now, I'm happy to say I've had it for 4 years and I haven't allowed sort of the complacency of driving it convince me that it's time to go out there and get all excited about another new car. And I plan to just keep driving it. I'll have it in 4 more years. At the end of the day, I can see where he's coming from because on another situation, I bought kind of a dream toy. I bought this Polaris. I spent $35,000 on this side-by-side. It was a really useful tool around my property, but really it was more of a recreational, hey, look at me type of toy as well. And there were days I would be sitting in this very spot looking out the window, and I would be seeing that parked in the driveway, and it had very low mileage on it after a couple of years of owning it. And I kept thinking to myself, in 4 or 5 or 10 more years, this thing is going to be worth very little money, even with low mileage. And the fact that it has low mileage means that I'm simply not getting a lot of use out of it. Why not sell it, put that money into an investment? And literally the next day it was on the market and it was sold a couple weeks later. So I'm with him. I think being able to reevaluate the reasons behind you're making these types of unnecessary purchases, and perhaps you're looking for a way to fill some void. He's right on the money when it comes to there's nothing outside of yourself that's going to bring you happiness. I've tried and it hasn't worked. So I love to see that he is going in the right direction here. You don't have to go through these consequences to learn this lesson. However, I think Will Smith or Jim Carrey or both have said something similar, that they just sort of wish everybody had an unlimited bank account at some point so you could buy everything you ever thought you wanted, so you can see that it just really is not what's going to bring you joy. Let's go through a couple comments. I feel like you made this video for the same reason that you bought the car. That's funny. Maybe. Summary: man bought a car to impress people and was shocked when he realized nobody cared. And that's true. Nobody cares. Now, again, I've gotten a lot of joy out of the recreational aspect of some of the toys that I have purchased. People tag along. We all have a great time. We go off-roading. And sure, maybe there is some delight, but he's right. For the most part, driving around the street, you think you're cool. Everybody else thinks you kind of look like a douche. Another comment here: unless it's paid off, it's a ball on a chain. True. And finally, he wanted to show off how rich he was when in reality, he has no money. It doesn't sound like he has no money, but certainly if he's financing it, he really should not have been purchasing that vehicle just yet. It is not just the costs of interest. It is not just the depreciation of the vehicle. It is not just the higher insurance costs and repair costs for the car. It is also the opportunity costs that you are losing by not being able to put that money into something better. So we're going to leave you there with that today, guys. Stay tuned to the channel for more of these great reaction videos. Until then, we'll see you on the next one, and keep on cash flowing. Take care.